Our next guest, we're happy to say, is South Carolina's junior United States Senator Tim Scott. The Republican took office in 2013. He is the longest-serving black senator in U.S. history and the first black person to serve in both chambers of Congress. His new book is called One Nation, Always Under God. It is out today. It spotlights Christian men and women whose faith helped shape American history. And Senator Scott joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. All right, so you've often, many times spoken about your Christian faith, both in Congress and on the campaign trail, and you warn in your new book that America is drifting from its Judeo-Christian values. Why do you see that as an imminent threat?
Well, I think if you look back at our past, the foundation of this country has always been a Judeo-Christian ethos, and that allows us to love our neighbors. Frankly, I think back to the Mother Emanuel crisis massacre in my state. They said Matthew 5:44 so many times when they forgave the killer. It is really important for us to recognize that sometimes the best future we could have is found by the foundation that we set on our Christian values. The good news is America is a multicultural nation. It allows for people to worship the God of their choice, but at the end of the day, it is undeniable that the foundational, the root system has been our Christian values.
But Senator, you say that truth is not subjective, that there is one fundamental truth.
Yes.
But in a day like today, people have different truths, right? Like on immigration, some people's truth is if you're in this country and even if you didn't come here legally, but you're paying taxes, you're contributing, you should stay. Other people's truth is if you came here legally, you shouldn't be here. How can there be one truth at a time like today when different people feel they have different truths?
Well, I think there's a big difference between your experiences and your opinion and the truth. The truth is that if you were to immigrate or go to Mexico illegally, they would have real strong sentences against you. I think the second time you were caught in Mexico, I believe it is, your sentence is up between 2 and 10 years. The fact of the matter is every nation on the planet has rules that say if you're in the country illegally, that is a crime, that's a problem. The question is, how do we deal with that issue? And frankly, I believe that this notion of objective truth is a necessary component for any functioning society. It's an opinion, or it's your desire for people to come into the country any really way you want to. I don't share that opinion. I think that our laws of our country are set upon an objective fact that if you're here illegally, then you have broken the law. The question is, what do we do about that? And I think our approach has been a very clear approach, which is that we look for the violent criminals first to get them out of our country. That is, in my opinion, the most effective way to do it.
If I may, Senator, as a practicing Christian,
yes.
As a practicing Christian, how do you reconcile your support for President Trump when many people see his actions as lacking Christian values? When you look at cutting foreign aid that supports the poor overseas, when you look at his rhetoric toward migrants, or even calling Chuck Schumer, telling him to go to hell in the last few days?
Well, I've heard a lot of politicians say a lot of things about other politicians. I'll simply say in my book, One Nation, Always Under God, which you'll find very quickly are stories of Christians who have the strong profile in multiple areas of our nation's important institutions. Being able to put ourselves back on solid ground is really important. But specifically, if you think about what President Trump has done, frankly, on reinforcing the PEPFAR funding that provides over billions of dollars to Africa for AIDS. If you think about President Trump's approach on taxes, when we passed the Trump tax cuts in 2017, we lowered the taxes for a single mother by 70%. If you look at the expansion of the child tax credit, $2,200 today, it was $2,000. When we first passed it, it was only $1,000 before we passed it. If you look at the impact from providing the average American family with $6,000 as a result of those tax cuts. And if you reverse that and look at the Biden administration years where we saw a loss of $1,075 per month in spending power, because when inflation goes to 9%, interest rates follow, making everything more expensive. If you look at where we are today, 2.7% is where our inflation is. I would say without any question, the most compassionate approach to providing the best future for the American people is by giving them as many of their resources to make their own decisions. And one of the reasons why I cover in my new book, One Nation, Always Under God, the importance of individual responsibility and having an optimistic view of that future is because I've seen it happen in our past, I've seen it happen in my life, and I'm hoping that it will happen again in our future.
All right, Senator, let me ask you about this. Let's talk about perceived truth.
Sure.
The President of the United States recently fired the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics after a lackluster report showed only about 73,000 jobs were created in July. He called the numbers fake, and he accused the commissioner of being part of a scam. He said she was partisan. You sit on the Senate Finance Committee. Do you agree with that characterization, and what evidence did the president present?
Well, I think very quickly, if you think about just during the previous election when, after Joe Biden got out of the race, that same BLS lowered the job numbers.
But Senator,
by
you know that these numbers are revised every quarter. But this is not new.
800,000.
They were also revised up at the end of presidency.
How much were they revised up by? I mean, literally, we're talking about an 800,000.
But you think that the revisions are partisan? When statisticians revise numbers, you think that those are partisan? Sorry, yeah.
The bottom line is simply this. For consistently over years, we've seen a mismanagement of the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. As a result of that, we've seen downward numbers by 800,000 people. Number one. Number two, but this is not just one instance. It has happened consistently over time. President Trump has said very clearly, and I think Kevin Hassett has said it really well, we want objectivity. We don't want politics involved in our numbers. That is why we've seen the change that we're seeing.
All right, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, always great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much.
When did you find time to write this book?
Took about
you
2
just got
years.
married? Like, you busy on the, yeah.
I'll say without any question, you can get the book today, though, on Amazon.com and wherever books are sold. It's really important.
Yeah, there are great stories about people in our history that you may know, you may not.
That's right.
And little anecdotes that I had never known before that I really enjoyed reading. So
yeah.
It's a good time.
Good to see you, sir.
Thank you very much.
That was today's By the Way. One Nation, Always Under God is available right now.